Hi DIYers, this is Michael from Alarm Grid, and today I'm going to be showing you how to factory default your 2 gig Edge security system. So we have our 2 gig Edge right here. It's newly installed, great new system. But if you need to factory default it, that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. So a factory default, it's basically restoring one or more of a set of settings to their factory default. That's just how the panel comes when you get it fresh out of the box, fresh from the factory. It's a brand new system. This is how it's going to be when you get it brand new. So maybe you're giving the system away and you want them to start with a new system. You're selling the system. You want them to start with, fresh factory default settings. It could be a troubleshooting method. If something's severely wrong with your system, you've tried everything, nothing's working, and you can't get this to fix, then this could be a last resort troubleshooting option. But the important thing to keep in mind about a factory default is that you can't undo it. Once you do it, there's no turning back. So it's kind of a risky decision if you think it may not fix the problem. So really, you should only do it if you're absolutely sure that that's the problem. Just really keep that in mind. So I'm going to get into it here, and I'm going to show you that there are multiple defaulting options that you can choose from. You don't have to default the entire system, per se. You can choose from a selection of options, and I'm going to go through each and every one of them once I'm in that menu. But let's get to that menu. So we're at the main screen of our 2 gig Edge alarm system. We're going to press the small settings icon, the gear icon in the bottom right corner, and then we're going to enter in our installer code. We have to do this code to get to the factory defaults menu. We can't use our master code. So we're going to do 1561, and that's the default installer code. And so now we're into the settings menu here, and where we want to go to installer toolbox at the bottom. I'm kind of surprised they put that kind of low there. Installer toolbox is a pretty prominent option. You think that would have been more towards the top, but you do have to scroll a bit to get to it. And you're at the installer toolbox right here, and you see that we have restore defaults. Now this is where the action's going to be. So you see we have different types of defaulting right here, and so right now they're all disabled. They're all toggled gray. If I press one of them, then you'll see it. I pressed it twice, but if I press it once, then you'll see that it toggles green, and that that one's going to be defaulted. So right now, if I were to click the restore button and then confirm, then it would restore sensors and zones. So I'm going to tell you what each of these means, just so you know what you're getting out of a factory default. Sensors and zones, that's going to clear out every sensor and zone, like everything you've enrolled with the system. Not necessarily ZWave devices, that's a different type of default, but if you enroll, door and window sensors, a glass break sensor, a motion sensor, temperature sensors, like anything that enrolls as a traditional RF sensor, traditional wireless RF sensor, that's going to be reset. Or even if you had a hardwired sensor set up with the system using a wired wireless converter, that would also be taken out. So whatever zones you set up, that's what is going to be default. So we'll turn that one on. Console, that's going to change just miscellaneous settings like delay timers, just whatever's inside the system, maybe account numbers as well. It's going to just like whatever various settings that you have on the panel that don't really fit into the other one. This is kind of like the catch-all category. It's going to reset them back to their default, and you're going to have to pretty much reprogram your system. You're going to have to go into programming and reset everything up. So that's one thing to keep in mind with console. With users, what it's going to do, it's going to reset the master code to its default of 1111. It's going to default the installer code to its default of 1561, and it's going to clear out any added user code. If you added another user code just for maybe your spouse to get in or your child to get in, they have their own code, they're not going to have a code anymore. You're going to have to reset that up. So every code's going to have to be reconfigured. You reconfigure your master code, that's a security risk. And you don't necessarily reconfigure the installer code because keeping that at the default is good for getting into programming, and you can't disarm with the installer code. But anyway, that's what users will do. It will go and factory defaults from that perspective. So then we have ZWave. That's pretty obvious. It's going to clear out the ZWave network. You're going to have to re-enroll all your ZWave devices, automation devices, lights, locks, thermostats, that type of deal. You're going to have to go and set them up again. They're going to be cleared from the system. Now network, that's going to deal with the IP, the Wi-Fi connection, internet connection of the panel. You're going to have to set the panel back up with a Wi-Fi network. It's not going to be connected to Wi-Fi. Now this can be a bit misleading because it actually doesn't affect cellular communication for the panel. The 2 gig edge has a cellular communicator built inside. That's going through alarm.com. That's configured through alarm.com. So if you reset the network, it's not actually going to affect that cellular communication. You're going to have to work with your monitoring company about that. So that's what network's going to do. So it's really only affecting the IP focus. It's not doing the cellular-based stuff. So the last one we have here is IP cameras. Now, if you're taking advantage of the advanced feature of the 2 gig edge where you can have IP cameras live streamed on the panel, like you can actually view your camera stream on the panel. Qualys also does this, but it was also brought to the edge. What that's going to do, it's going to clear out any IP cameras that you have associated with the edge. You're going to have to re-enroll them, get them set up again, so that way you can stream them from the panel. It's going to be taken away. So those are all the types of restores you can perform. Right now we have all of them selected. We're going to do a full default and default everything. So you see that we have the restore button in the bottom right corner here. If we press that, it's going to give us a confirmation. This is kind of like the warning message here. Do you want to restore these settings to the factory defaults? And this is your last chance to cancel. But once I click this button, it's going to go into effect, and then there's no turning back. I can't undo the default. So we're going to press the button again because I wasn't fast enough, and we're going to press the red restore button, and then we're going to see that it's restoring settings. So let's watch that happen. That was pretty quick, actually. So the settings have been restored to factory defaults. So it does give us the confirmation, and then we press OK. It sets everything back to off, but we performed the default. And now we can return home. We'll just use the upper right corner here until we get back to the home screen of the edge and its friendly voice. So that is how you perform a factory default for the 2 gig edge security system. If you have any questions about the 2 gig edge or about alarm monitoring services, send an email to support@alarmgrid.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up below to like the video, and remember to subscribe to our channel for updates on future videos. We hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.